Hi and welcome to Little Ripley Shop. I'm Jane, but you may remember that from episode 1. So in episode 2, I want to talk to you about my little Bones. I called him Bones, but his real name was Jones, and he was my little cat, and I loved him to bits.
I think now's a good time to chime in.
I lost him in 2020.
I get the feeling this is going to be a long episode.
He was taken suddenly. His back legs collapsed. It turned out to be a blood clot, so he lost his back legs and he had to be put to sleep. I do miss the little guy.
This is such a sad story.
I just wanted to tell you a few little stories about Jonesy Bones and how he came to be and stuff like that. It was many years ago, because he was 8 years old last year, so he would have been 9 this year. So about 9 years ago, I went to Ayr because I really wanted another kitty cat, because I love them to bits. I'm totally a cat person. So I went down to Ayr because I found 2 cats that were free to good home.
I had a brother
at the time. They were 8 weeks old.
I had a mother.
And one was Jones, who was the little ginger. And
Jones isn't my real name.
Brother, who was a kind of,
it's just too complex for your human tongue.
I really wanted to take them both, but sadly that was not going to happen. There's no way I would have been.
I'm glad you left him.
So I took little Jones and we got into the car and we drove all the way home, and he was so cute. He was so tiny.
Oh, spare me.
In the car, didn't even go into the little cat basket. He decided that he wanted to be free. We always had a thing about cat baskets, actually, from what I remember.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of times where if we had to travel or we had to move or whatever, he would never actually be put in the cat basket. He was always just allowed to roam the car. Maybe not the best idea from a safety point of view, but he was allowed to roam about, so
it's not like I was trying to kill you.
And he settled in really quickly, and there was something very special about him straight from the beginning. I wouldn't say that he was totally like the most loving cat. He would only want to cuddle whenever he wanted to cuddle.
Cuddling.
He never wanted to cuddle when I wanted to cuddle. I suppose that's just a cat thing. That's not necessarily a Jones thing. And it was great. We had some really good times. We went through some tough times and we went through some good times. And he was there. He was always my wee pal. I wasn't too enamoured when Little Ripley came along.
Oh my God.
I can only say that whenever she was around, he was not around. He did not really trust the little peach bag at all. And he was just like, tiny humans, no tiny humans, don't do tiny humans. He wasn't mean to her. He never lifted a paw to her or anything like that. And there was one day I remember I got a call from the nursery, so I had to leave work and I had to go and pick her up because she really wasn't well. I could tell she wasn't well. She was running the temperature. So I gave her some Calpol and cuddles, and then just popped her into bed for a few hours, and she fell asleep pretty quickly because she wasn't feeling too great.
This is really just her version of events.
An hour later I went to check on her and make sure that she was okay, and Jones had actually crawled into her cot with her.
Lies, it's all lies.
He never does that. Like, he never did it before.
I think you'll find she was in my bed.
I think he just knew that she wasn't very well
and it
she
didn't
needed
move
a wee
over.
cuddle, and he just went in and gave her a wee cuddle that she needed.
It wasn't a cuddle.
That's the kind of boy that he was. I don't want to give him too much credit for being like the smartest cat in the room, because I wouldn't say that he was, because he was also quite funny. He used to fall off stuff all the time. I mean, I can't tell you how many times he fell off the windowsill.
Okay,
and
maybe
he was always
once.
doing stupid things. It was always
maybe twice.
Something going on, and you could hear all the cat cries from outside as he fought with the neighbour's cat. So the neighbour has a cat called Ginger, who's also a ginger, and they just used to. They did not get along.
That's
they
not
did not
true.
like each other.
It was laugh a
minute.
minute.
The neighbour has quite a few cats.
That was not
and
crying.
That
was laughing.
Every other cat
just because you know nothing
Ginger.
about cats.
And Ginger's an older cat, so he's maybe a wee bit more territorial, and just thought Jones was there to take over and was having absolutely none of it. And he always came across like he was really happy. I just assumed that he was really happy.
You assumed wrong.
I assume also
wrong
that
assumption.
if he wasn't happy, he would have packed his little handkerchief and he would have moved out and found someone else to live with. So it was really sad losing him, because it was like losing your wee pal. And even though you don't communicate in English, there was still something.
Oh, trust me, I was communicating.
There was still something there. There was still ways that we could communicate, and and I would look at him and say I love you, and he would look at me all adoring me and stuff like that. So
so
it was nice. It was a nice wee relationship, and I hope he's kind of proud of me as well. I don't know if a cat can be proud of he never knew about the shop. He passed away before the shop ever even
well, at least this is true.
Idea. He holds a special place here too.
Not special enough for you to call it Little Jonesies.
He was my wee boy, and I still think about him, and I miss having him around.
I miss being around. They I'm the one that died.
A piece of the furniture that moves almost, so every now and again you
compare
see
me to a
in the corner
footstool.
of your eye and you think that it's him, and it's obviously not him. And it's just another story that I feel is relevant to the shop because he was a big part of my life. 8 years to a lot of people is not a long time, but to me it was a long time. A lot had happened within that time.
So young.
And I just wanted to tell you all about Jones, and that's how I'm going to memorialise him, by telling everyone else
give me strength.
how absolutely wonderful he was. How he was one of a kind, and I doubt I'll ever
We're now like
find
6 minutes
another
in.
little kitty like him.
6 minutes.
So that's my story for today, and thank you for visiting Little Ripley Shop.
Goodbye.
Night night, Jones.
Night night, Mom. I wish I could have told you thanks for everything. I'm really gonna miss you.